Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Born and dead, saved by love, count my blessings from above. Though in darkness, have no fear. Light will shine on those holding near. They know that sorrow they will pass. For I know in this life there will be something. But remember that love, yes it will. Love will reign. Yeah, love will reign. Yeah, in my heart I believe it. Love will reign. Oh, yeah, yeah. Have a vision, it's clear and plain. People living life, smiling again. Oh, see the children, they know no pain. Far from pressure, stress and strain. Oh, sorrow, they will pass. For I know in this life there's gonna be some pain. But remember that love, yes it will. I know, yeah, love will reign. Gotta believe it. In my heart, I truly believe sun will shine again. And love, I can hardly wait. We'll all be together. There'll be peace, peace, sweet peace, happiness and joy. Oh, yeah. One day, someday, pain will be over and love will reign. They won't last, for I know in this life there's gonna be some pain. But in the end, love will reign. Yeah. Love will reign. Said it in His word. Weeping may endure the night, but love will conquer all. Love will win the fight. So don't be discouraged. Don't be dismayed. The darkest hour is just before the hate will be crushed, fear will be gone, love will remain and go on and on. Though the road seems rough, my friend, we know how the journey ends. Oh, yeah. La, da, da, da. La, da, da. La, da, da. Oh, oh. La, da, da, da.
Love will reign. I'm excited every time I hear that song, and I'm honored, and the Love and Stuff community is honored that Kier Coleman Ward, who is an amazing, amazing composer, Black composer, is so kind to us that he has allowed us, although we don't have rights to his music, he's given us the permission to use this song as our opening song. And I love it. It is the sentiment of our community. Love will reign. I hope that whether you're like Miss Respect over there on TikTok, or if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch TV, Instagram, I think I said YouTube events, wherever you may be watching, I'm grateful that you're here. I'm Marcus Holmes. I am the love activist. I'm advocating for a better love for you and me. And that love may be a love between you, your boo, and your bae, your partner, your spouse, your parents, your children, your siblings, your coworkers, all in the hope that we can individually and collectively increase the amount of love in the world. And so at the outset, I hope that if you are a follower, a connection, a friend, a subscriber, that you will click share and tag 5 of your closest inside of your circle of friends. Or if you're watching this later, drop in the comments that you're watching it and where you're watching it from. And we'd be glad and happy for you to share this with 5 of the more popular ones within your circle of influence. Listen, we're back at the inbox. His brother used to carry the pastor's Bible. Now he wants to marry the pastor's widow. The board does not want the wedding held there. He agrees with the board that his brother and the widow should not get married there. Now the brother is furious and threatening to leave the church. The wedding has not happened, but the family and the church seem to already be splitting apart. Is this brother standing on principle, siding against his own family, or both? I want to give an opportunity for those of you that are watching across different channels to please ensure that you click share and tag someone to join in this conversation. Here is the inbox topic. Marcus, keep me anonymous, bro, because this some sugar, honey, ice, and tea. I'm 34, born and raised in the South, down South, and this situation with my brother has been sitting wrong with me for a minute. My brother used to be the pastor's armor bearer. And I don't mean he just helped out every now and then. He was close to the pastor, traveled with him, carried his Bible, handled things for him, and acted like that man was family. Everybody at the church knew how tight they were. The pastor passed away. Sometime after that, my brother and the pastor's wife, the former first lady, got together. Now they are talking seriously about getting married. Here's where it got messy. They want to get married at the church, but the board does not want the wedding held there. I understand why, and I agree with the board. I think holding that particular wedding in the church her late husband pastored would put the congregation in an unfair and uncomfortable position. I told my brother how I feel, and he is furious with me. He says I should have his back, especially with church folks opposing him. Now he is threatening to leave the church if the board does not change its decision. I have tried to separate 2 different questions. They are both grown. She was widowed, not owned. My brother was single, and as far as I know, nothing happened while the pastor was living. I do not have proof that they did anything wrong. They have the right to get married. But I do not believe having the right to marry means the church has to host the wedding. Part of me feels like there are certain lines you just do not cross. If a man trusted you enough to have you serving right beside him, how do you end up marrying his wife after he dies? Then another part of me wonders whether I am judging two people for finding love after a loss. I also do not know what really bothers me most: the relationship itself, the choice of venue, my brother expecting me to oppose the board, or the fact that folks are already whispering about our family. My brother says that by agreeing with the board, I am choosing the church over him. I don't want to lose my brother, but I also do not want family loyalty to mean pretending I agree with something when I do not. And am I wrong for agreeing that the wedding should be held somewhere else? Should the board reconsider? Is my brother justified in leaving the church? And how do I stand by my honest position without making him feel like I have abandoned him? Just want to make sure. Hello, Ambro. Thanks for joining us. I hope you will click share and tag some other folks. This is loving stuff over there on TikTok. I want to let you know that some of these details have been changed for identification purposes. We're not accusing anyone of misconduct, and we don't know whether or not a relationship began before the pastor's death. The wedding has not occurred, and we're just discussing the relational questions related to the story. Here we talk about the love of God, love of self, and love of others, in the hopes that we can increase the amount of love in the world, one person, one relationship, one community at a time. Let me say, this is not to cast aspersions on the church. I love the church. I'm part of the church. I have seen both deity and devilment in the church, and I wouldn't trade that institution for the world. I want to put that out there because I don't want it to seem that we just want to put the church in bad light. We want to bring light to real situations that are happening, and maybe you will lend some of your perspective and input, as is always the hope. Because tonight's inbox has grief, church politics, family loyalty, a former first lady, a former armor bearer, and brothers who believe the other one is choosing the wrong side. So I want you to drop in the comments if you've ever experienced any of these. Choose the one that you have: love, loyalty, grief, mess. And when you drop that word in the comment, I want you to think about the inbox topic that has been read, and do any of these words fit the bill tonight? Is love involved here? What about loyalty? What about grief? What about mess? Okay. We're not putting named or unnamed persons on trial. Now, I want to share an observation that I shared in the inbox. And sometimes I broach topics with different people in the inbox just to get their perspective, to help to shape mine. Even though I've been in the church all my life, and again, I've seen deity, I've seen divine, I've seen devilment, I've seen the demonic, I've seen pure evil happen around the church, and I still believe it's the greatest institution known to man. It is not itself a perfect institution because the people who populate it aren't, but it was founded by a perfect man. Now, that's my thought on that. But one of the observations that I shared in the inbox is that several decisions are being treated as though they're one decision. Okay? Several different decisions are being treated as if they're one. whatever you think and feel about it, the couple can decide whether to marry. That's their right. And we could argue it and say, I know she was with that man before he was armor bearing her, which some people that I broached the topic with in the inbox said, that didn't just start. And we don't know. We don't know. I'm not guessing at the probability or likelihood that that is the case. That's tangential in my thinking, but you may think differently, and I'd love for you to share in the comments. The board can decide whether the church will host a wedding, unless there is something in the Constitution or bylaws that say every member is entitled to have a wedding at the church. The board can decide whether the church will host it. The brother can express his view. Okay? The prospective groom can decide whether he can remain in the church. The conflict really, as I see it, and thank you, Stacey Jones, for popping in, is about whether those choices, decisions are being made with respect or used to pressure another. Okay? So, of course, we wanted to pool some of the relationship advice and expert advice to be able to share in a couple of points. And I hope that if you feel that any of these resonates with you, that you'll chime in the comments. And I just again want to welcome you across platforms, all of those that are joining from various places, from Instagram to TikTok to the Love and Stuff community page from which we emanate, and all of the love groups attached, the Marcus Our Homes page there on Facebook, the YouTube events, subscribers and followers, and Twitch TV. All right, all of those places. And I hope again that you will chime in. Number one, from relationship advice, do not let a 3-person story become a family triangle. Psychiatrist and family systems pioneer Dr. Murray Bowen, he summarized triangles in his work at the Bowen Center for the Study of the Family. His theory describes a triangle as the smallest stable relationship system. And when tension arises between two people, they often pull in a third person or party or institution, which often spreads anxiety without resolving the original issue. So you can imagine in the story, several triangles are at play, could be operating, right? Brother, prospective groom, and prospective bride, right? Prospective bride. Couple, late pastor's memory, and the church. Talking about triangles. Couple, late pastor's memory, and the church. Brother, church gossip, and his family reputation, right? And the goal is not to allow these triangles to turn the story, the characters, to become a family triangle. Here are the how-tos that are recommended. Draw the triangle. Whenever tension arises, write down the 3 people or forces or institutions that are involved. And then ask, am I stating my own belief or carrying the institution's position into this relationship? In this case, the board's position. Ask yourself, after you write down the 3 forces, am I stating my own belief or am I carrying someone else's position? Okay. Number 2, stop collecting allies. Don't recruit church members or relatives or viewers to prove that the marriage is right or wrong. Speak directly with the person with whom you have a relationship and want to maintain it. Stop collecting allies, number 2. And number 3, return responsibility. The board owns the venue decision. The couple owns whether and where they marry as allowed. Each brother owns his perspective and whether they can have an agreement or disagreement instead of its estrangement. I want to hear from you. Is the brother expressing his own concern or carrying the church's judgment? What do you think? Have you ever been pulled into a family conflict that wasn't yours to solve? How did you handle it? And can honoring a deceased person turn into controlling the living? I want to hear from you. I love these questions, and I'm hoping that you will tune in, chime in. Those that are on TikTok, those that are on other platforms, I hope you will chime in the comments. And as you're doing that, I want to jump quickly to share with you one of our partners. Christina, the money coach, is an amazing person, an amazing part of our community. And her company, Powerful Money Tools, LLC, can't wait to work with you.
Welcome to Powerful Money Tools, LLC. At Powerful Money Tools, we are here to prepare for your future. We want to talk about financial freedom. Financial freedom is budgeting, credit building, and also financial education. So once again, welcome to Powerful Money Tools, LLC. We can't wait to help you in your financial future.
We can't wait to help you in your financial future, is what she was saying. And Christina, we want you to know that we've appreciated your support down through the years. You've helped a number of people, particularly women, who wanted to get back on their financial feet and have a sure footing. And if that resonates with you, I want you to check out Christina, the money coach at Powerful Money Tools, LLC. We're talking directly from the inbox, and we've shared some insights with this brother from expert-backed teaching principles. This brother whose observation is that he agrees with the church that they should not host the wedding of his brother and the former first lady. The brother was the armor bearer to the recently deceased pastor. What do you think? Well, we talked about don't let a 3-person story become a family triangle, because oftentimes we will allow a narrative to define our relationships. The 3 how-tos, I want to share before those 3 how-tos that there are several triangles that could be at play. The brother, the prospective groom and prospective bride, the couple, the late pastor's memory and the church gossip, the brother and his family reputation, among other triangles. We shared 3 how-tos. Draw the triangle and find out whether or not you're stating your position or belief, or if it is influenced by someone else's. Number 2, stop collecting allies. Don't recruit people to be on one side or the other, and return responsibility to the people who can make those decisions. I asked earlier, do you believe that the brother is expressing his own concern or carrying the church's judgment? I want to hear from you in the comments. Have you ever pulled into a family conflict that was not yours to solve? And can honoring a deceased person turn into controlling the living? Once we step out of the triangle, we can then ask a cleaner, maybe clearer question. What belongs to the brother? What belongs to the couple? And what belongs to the board? Because number 2, concern does not create authority over another adult's life. I want to say that again. Concern does not create authority over another adult's life. We lean in again, as we have in previous episodes, to the work of therapist Nedra Glover Tawwab, who is the author of Set Boundaries, Find Peace, and also the author of Drama Free. And you'll find many of these excerpts discussed in her very well-mined interviews on boundaries and difficult family relationships. She teaches that boundaries clarify what we will do and accept. They're not tools to use to control another adult. So while the brother may agree with the board, he cannot prevent the couple from marrying. The prospective groom can leave the church. But using departure solely to frighten the board or influencing the board into reversing its decision functions more like an ultimatum than a boundary. Here are the how-tos that you can employ, and we're advising for him to employ to undergird that concern does not create authority over another adult's life. State the boundary in first person. The brother can say, I will not campaign against your marriage, but I will not tell the board I support using the church when I do not. Also, you can separate the marriage from the venue. Supporting their right to marry does not require supporting where they want to get married, or supporting where someone wants to get married doesn't support their right. And 3, name the departure honestly. The prospective groom should say whether leaving is necessary for his spiritual well-being or intended to punish the church until it gives him what he wants. And I want to ask you, does supporting your brother require supporting his preferred wedding venue? Can you love somebody without blessing every one of their decisions? Is threatening to leave a boundary or an ultimatum? What do you think? I want to hear from you across all platforms. I'm very interested in your thoughts and opinions and would very much appreciate them as I go back to see if I can pin the topic so that you can have it across all platforms there, or most platforms. I see it's not pinning everywhere. And while doing that, again, I want to tell you about another one of our wonderful partners, June Rochelle Eaton, who is the owner of DetroitCouture.com.
Hi, my name is June Rochelle, and I own Detroit Couture. We are a fashion-forward women's boutique, and we offer friendly sizes from small all the way up to 3X women's sizes, very generously fit, very great quality. I actually have on one of our pieces today. It's called the Cuffed Up. It's in gray, burgundy, and black and olive, and it actually has a lot of stretch and give. So listen, in this time, we try to make sure that, first of all, it's quality and customer service that we offer our clients. And I'm so glad to have this opportunity to share with you. So go and visit us at DetroitCouture.com.
We're so grateful for June, and she is such a go-getter, and we appreciate her support. She's given away gift certificates, and if you stick around, you might get a chance to get a gift certificate as well. We're talking from the inbox, and just to summarize, as you can see the topic pinned, there is a brother who is concerned about his brother's marriage to the former First Lady of the church, for which he served as an armor bearer to the pastor who passed away. And we talked about some how-tos and some things to do. Number 1, do not let a 3-person story become a family triangle. This is expert advice from Dr. Murray Bowen from his Center for the Study of Family and Triangles. He says that several triangles can be operating at once, In this case, it could be brother, prospective groom, and prospective bride. It could be couple, late pastor's memory in the church. It could be brother, church gossip, and his family reputation. The 3 how-tos to address not letting a 3-person story become a family triangle is draw that triangle and make sure that you're on the side of your own belief. Number 2, stop collecting allies. Don't recruit people to be on one side or the other, and then return responsibility where it belongs. Who owns what decisions? All right. Number 2, concern does not create authority over another adult's life. And this is from expert therapist Nedra Glover Tawwab, who is the author of Set Boundaries, Find Peace, and Drama Free, and has done a number of interviews in Very Well Mind on boundaries and difficult family relationships. 3 how-tos that she gives if you want to ensure that concern does not create authority over another adult's life or your thought that it does is state the boundary in first person. Separate, number 2, the marriage from the venue. And number 3, name the departure, your dissent, your feeling that's opposite, honestly. Okay? And we asked after that segment, does supporting your brother require supporting his preferred venue? I want to hear from you in the comments. Can you love somebody without blessing every one of their decisions? Is threatening to leave a boundary or an ultimatum? Boundaries tell us where authority ends, but they do not remove the need for an honest, open conversation. Okay. Number 3, start the conversation softly without accusing anyone's character. This is work from psychologists, doctors John and Julie Gottman from the Gottman Institute. In particular, one of their articles entitled How to Fight Smarter, Soften Your Startup. The Gottman research emphasizes that conflict discussions often end in the emotional direction in which they began. So a soft startup, describing a concern using I statements and making specific requests without blame or character attack, can help conversations have a soft start and a successful soft land. Here are their advice. Here's their advice on 3 how-tos if you want to ensure that you start the conversation softly without accusations of anyone's character. Number 1, which I think is really important, and not just in this situation, but in most situations involving 2 sides or 2 or more sides. And again, because it's in the church, I want to tell you that, again, I've seen deity and divine in the church. I've seen devilment and devil and demonic in the church. And I still think it's the greatest institution known to man. But if you really want to have a successful dialogue, especially where there's disagreement, lead, number 1, with the relationship. If you can but put the relationship first, it will put you in a position of empathy and maybe unity concerning what's most important. That might sound or show up like, I love you, and I don't want disagreement over a building to cost us our brotherhood. I don't want disagreement over your marriage choice to cost us our brotherhood. I don't want disagreement over your leaving the church to cost us our brotherhood. Lead with relationship. Number 2, describe. Do not prosecute. Describe. Do not prosecute. That may show up as, I support your right to marry. I support your right to love and marry whom you want to. But I understand the board's position and why they are uncomfortable hosting. How you don't want to show up is you betrayed the church and your pastor. Describe, do not prosecute. And number 3, ask for understanding before defending your position. Seek to understand, not to respond. You've heard that before, I'm sure. This may show up as, would you tell me what having the wedding there means to you and why another venue feels unacceptable? I want to ask you, what opening sentence would you make? And what opening sentence would make you willing to hear a hard concern? I want to hear from you in the comments. Would you answer honestly if your sibling approached you this way? What accusation must the brother absolutely leave out of the conversation? And we'll share right after we come back a brother to brother short script of sorts, because you may not know the words to use in a situation such as this. And so you might need some assistance. And we want to help you with a short script that you might utilize to do just that. Right after we give you an opportunity to consider 36 questions that lead to love.
Can 36 questions make you fall in love? What if I told you 2 young psychologists discovered over 30 years ago that just 36 questions could create real closeness between complete strangers? And that the same questions might lead you to love or help you discover more about yourself than you ever imagined. This isn't a dating gimmick. It's an experiment that's been studied and repeated around the world. People walked in as strangers and walked out feeling deeply connected. Some even got married. But here's the twist. It's not just about romance. These questions open the door to vulnerability, honesty, and self-reflection. They help you see who you are, how you love, and what really matters to you in relationships. So whether you're looking for love or looking to learn more about yourself in the process, click the link, sign up, and let's walk through these 36 questions together. Who knows? Love might just be one question away.
Who knows? Love just might be one question away. And we would love for you to consider participating in 36 questions that lead to Love 2.0. If you go back in the Love and Stuff community, you will see where there are some folks who have joined 36 questions that lead to love, and they've had an amazing experience. And so we invite you to do just that with 36 questions that lead to love. All right, we're getting back to the inbox topic. We asked a couple of questions from the last segment after thinking about point number 3, which is start the conversation softly without accusing someone's character by leading with the relationship, describing, not prosecuting, and asking for understanding before defending your position. And just as a suggested script, brother to brother, or you might say, I love you and I do not want a disagreement over the church building to cost us our relationship. I support your right to choose whom you marry. I also understand why the board does not want to host the ceremony, and I will not lie about that. But I want to understand why that location matters so much to you. I'm not asking to run your relationship. I'm asking whether we can disagree honestly and still be brothers. So I want you to think about that. Thank you, Deborah Otay Crawford, for joining, along with Jacob Moore. Thank you for popping in. I hope you will click, share, and tag some folks. Thank you over there on TikTok, Pretty Black. Thanks for joining. And just tap that screen to let me know you're tracking with us. All right. We talked across various points, but just to Recap those points. Number one, do not let a three-person story become a family triangle. You do this by drawing the triangle, stop collecting allies, and return responsibility. Number two, concern does not create authority over another adult's life, right? You don't get to create authority because you're concerned. And the way that you work through that is you state the boundaries in first person. You separate the issues because often it's a bevy of decisions and not just one. And you name how you are dissenting or departing from that briefly and honestly. Number three, start the conversation softly without accusing the other person's character. This is from Doctors John and Julie Gottman from the Gottman Institute, How to Fight Smarter, Soften Your Startup by leading with the relationship. Describe, not prosecute, and ask for understanding before you defend your position. Number four, a widow's new love does not erase her previous love. Certified grief educator Whitney Allen, along with psychiatrist Dr. Alex Demetrio and psychotherapist Dr. Noah Kaz, from their work with Very Well Minds, in particular, what's it really like dating someone who has lost a partner, they provide guidance that emphasizes that grief is not linear, that a widowed person can carry love for a late spouse while loving a current partner, and that reminders, rituals, and visits connected with a former life do not automatically threaten the new relationship. The former First Lady's continued connection to the church might represent faith, community, history, grief, or relationships that were been built over the years. Wanting the ceremony there may carry deep meaning, but the couple needs to be prepared to explain that meaning rather than assuming the board must share that meaning. Here's some how-tos. It's better to ask rather than assign meaning, number one. The couple should be willing to discuss what marrying in that sanctuary symbolizes to each of them and what holding it elsewhere would mean to them. Number two, make room for the grief and discomfort. The honor to the late pastor is not destroyed. You can honor the late pastor while recognizing that the same sanctuary may hold grief and conflicting meaning for the congregants. And be prepared to create a new beginning if necessary. Choosing another venue can be framed as establishing their own marriage rather than accepting rejection or shame. I want to ask you, can a widow honor her late husband and still be fully committed to a new husband? What might returning to the church mean besides disrespect to her current marriage or to the marriage that she's embarking upon? Does controlling the building cross over into controlling the relationship? The past does deserve honor, but it cannot be the only evidence we examine. The living relationship must be judged by how the people in it behave now. And number five, evaluate the present relationship by its fruit, not its optics. Again, we return back to Doctors John and Julie Gottman for their work on repair attempts, fondness, respect, and the ratio of positive to negative interactions during conflict. A relationship can look scandalous to outsiders and still be caring and healthy on the inside. Conversely, it can look respectful and respectable and be harmful in private. Because a marriage has not occurred, this conflict could be a good and early test of whether the couple, the family, the board can handle disappointment without contempt, without coercion, without retaliation. The ways to evaluate the present relationship by its fruit, not its optics, according to the research from Drs. John and Julie Gottman. Number one, look for observable fruit. Can the couple here know about the venue without treating it as rejection of their entire relationship? Is it? Can the board explain its decision, stand its ground without humiliating the couple? That's number one. What is the observable fruit? Behaviors, actions. And the fruit rather, will tell you something about the root. Number two, make repair specific. The brother can apologize for any coldness or public alignment against his brother without pretending to change his position. And number three, hold a structured meeting. One private conversation with the couple, selected board representatives, and or a neutral facilitator should help them clarify the reason, whether the decision has to be final, and how everyone can behave afterwards. I want to hear from you. What would a fair board process look like? Should people be permanently defined by a church title they once held? Can the brothers remain brothers if neither one changes their position? I want to hear from you as we come to the close of this part. And I definitely want to share with you once again just one of our many sponsors. Wear the brand. What you wear says something about you, about who you are, what you believe, and what you stand for. So here in the Love and Stuff community, we wear the brand that we live, and we live the brand that we wear because we love the brand. It's all about increasing the amount of love in the world and upping our love game. And if that's what you're about, you should wear it too. If that's what you're about, you should wear the brand too. And so we invite you to consider the Love and Stuff brand and all the gears that help to make it what it is. We can't have a community without you. You know, the brother's not automatically wrong for agreeing with the board. Supporting an adult's right to marry does not obligate him to support every requested decision or venue or any. But he must examine for himself whether this agreement is based on a consistent policy, sensitivity, personal discomfort, or an unproven accusation. Unless anyone knows that the relationship began through deception or misconduct, they should stop trying to build a case built on symbolism alone. Armor bearer, first lady, and the pastor's wife. She is an adult woman whose husband died. The armor bearer, this brother, is an adult man. Titles don't have to own people forever. The prospective groom is also allowed to conclude that he cannot remain in a church whose decision he experiences as rejection. But leaving should be a considered decision, not a threat, and not one used to secure the building. The goal here should not be to force the couple to abandon marriage or force the board to surrender its decision. The goal should be to determine whether the brother can tell the truth, whether the board can offer explanation with integrity, and whether the couple can begin their married life without turning a wedding venue into a permanent family and church war. Tonight's lesson largely is that love doesn't require us to suppress every concern, but it does require us to put concerns in their proper place. I said to this gentleman in the inbox, do not make the church the third person in your brotherhood. Do not turn a deceased man's memory into ownership of his widow. Do not confuse a board's authority over a building with authority over a couple's future. Speak softly, with grace, ask directly, establish boundaries, and do not use family loyalty or church membership as leverage. I'd invite you in the comments to give one sentence of advice, not a sermon, one sentence. And if this conversation has given you a place to think, I want you to keep the conversation going. Be sure to follow the Love and Stuff page and share this replay with one person who has ever had to choose between family loyalty and an adult loved one's freedom. You can also support the work and see the Love and Stuff collection at our Shopify store. It supports our ability to keep producing conversations about love and to help those that need love to touch their lives. I think we all can up our love game, especially when it comes to our thoughts and decisions about the lives of others. I must admit, reading initially from the inbox, I thought that there might have been some other aspect at play, that there might have been something else that happened. But two adults have the right to choose as they will, as does a board, and as does a brother who doesn't agree. The goal is to find enough love to lead your relationship through difficult, hard discussions and still come out with dignity, respect, and love.
Marcus, I want to congratulate you on Love and Stuff. I really want you to know that staying grateful and understanding the power of what it is to be operating out of a space of abundance and gratitude is the most important part of every journey of every day. So Marcus June, congratulations on this book. It's on Amazon now. That makes me so proud of you and your family and me and my family, and every single person around us gets it. So good on you for bringing it into the hands and the laps and the Kindles of all the people. Okay, so we're gonna check it out. Can't wait to learn more.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Born and dead, saved by love, count my blessing from above.